More facts, more knowledge. Please welcome your host for today's program, Mr. John Mark Pasalio.
Good day and hello people in all over the world. Today we are live here in digital community and I am welcoming you all in this fascinating talk show. This is Spill the Facts of GA3. And now ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome and give a round of applause to our endearing guests. Mr. Herbie Campesino, Miss Angeline Cavite, Mr. Devon Kirk Blanket, and Miss Janelle Rose Dabay. Thank you everyone, I hope you are ready for our game today. So here are the mechanics. There are 4 questions that to be answered by us. And we will be given 2 minutes to relay our ideas. So basically, I will be participating in this game. And now, let's see who the lucky person for question number 1 is. And you are the lucky one, Miss Angeline Cavite. Your question is, discuss the powers of international organizations.
Okay, so let me discuss about the power of international organization. So what is international organization? It means it is the international intergovernmental organization or a group that are primarily made up of member of state. So according to Michael Barnett and Martha Finmore, that there are 3 types of power of international organization. 1 is the power of classification, 2 is the power of fixed meaning, and 3 is the power to diffuse norms. So the power of classification, it has ability to classify object, invent and shape their definition and their identity. So number 2, the power of fixed meaning. So it's the state's organization and the individual's view of international organization as legitimate source of information. So lastly, the power to diffuse norm. So that the international organization exercise 3 types of power by spreading and enforcing global values and norms. So to sum up everything, international organization means it possess only the power or the competence conference on its by member. So in other words, it has no original power that would hold by itself under its own law. So that's all.
Thank you for that interesting idea, Miss Lin. And now let's take a look who's gonna answer next. Holy wow, this spot is already mine. So the question given to me is, discuss and differentiate the organs of United Nations. There are 5 organs of the United Nations: the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the International Court of Justice, and the Secretariat. These organs have different and vital functions. The General Assembly is primarily composed of all member states, about 193. They are the policy-making organ, and they are responsible in resolving recommendations and suggestions to the Security Council. In fact, Carlos P. Garcia, a Filipino diplomat, was once a president of the GA. The Security Council is the organ of the UN that maintains international peace and security. Their major role is to resolve international conflicts through a peaceful or a forceful means. Basically, it has 15 members. It includes 5 permanent members which have great powers: the China, the France, the Russian Federation, the United Kingdom, and the United States. The Economic and Social Council is obliged to coordinate the economic and social work related to United Nations mission. It has 54 members. Then the International Court of Justice is the one that settles legal disputes between member states. It has 15 judges that elected by the GA and the SC. Lastly, the Secretariat. They provide significant information needed by the UN bodies for their meeting. Thus, they provide services for the other organs of the United Nations. Secretary General is the head of the Secretariat. Thank you. So now let's move on to the next question. The person who gonna answer is Mr. Devon Kurt Blanket. So your question, Mr. Kurt, is discuss and differentiate comprehensively state regionalism and non-state regionalism.
Hello, so I am Devon Kirk M. Blanket, and for this segment I am discussing and differentiating state regionalism and non-state regionalism. So what is the state regionalism? So state regionalism is an international organization in the region whose members are represented by states. Some of the examples of the state regionalism is the Opec and the Asean. So, what is a non-state regionalism? A non-state regionalism is an international organization in the regions whose members are common people or philanthropists and not directly connected to the states. So, examples of this is the new regionalism and legitimizers. As you can hear on what I've said, the difference of the two is that state regionalism is represented or connected by states, while the non-state or regionalism is not connected to the states and is consist of only common people.
Thank you, Kurt. And the next spot is for Mr. Herbie Campesino. So your question, Mr. Hervey, is discuss individually and comprehensively the following: NATO, OPEC, NOM, and ASEAN.
Hi, my name is Hervey Campesino. So, what is NATO? NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization is called North Atlantic Alliance is an intergovernmental military alliance between 30 European and North American countries. A political and military alliance secured in our daily lives is the key of well-being. NATO's purpose is to guarantee the freedom and security of its member through political and military means. OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, is an intergovernmental organization of 13 countries. In addition, to ensure the stabilization of prices in international oil markets with view to eliminating harmful and unnecessary fluctuation, OPEC aims to secure an efficient economy and regular supply of petroleum to consuming nations and a fair return in their capital to their investing in the petroleum. NAM, the non-aligned movement of 120 developing world states are not formally aligned with or against any major power bloc. It remains a strong pillar of support for developing countries fighting against racism, occupation, and neo-colonialism. NAM also takes up social economic issues, so it's a coordination on their issues with G77 and China can yield positive results. ASEAN, Association of South Asian Nations, is economic union comprising 10 member states in Southeast Asia, which promotes intergovernmental cooperation with facilities to accelerate the economic growth of each country.
That's a great idea, Mr. Herb. And at last, let's hear from Miss Danil Rose Daftar. Your question is the same to Mr. Hervey. Discuss individually and comprehensively the following: NATO, NAM, OPEC, and ASEAN.
According to my research, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization was created and established in 1949 by the following countries, namely United States, Canada, and other Western European nations. This organization was established to provide collective security against the Soviet Union. The enduring purpose of this organization is to ensure or safeguard the freedom and security of all its members by political and military means. Next is the OPEC. or the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. OPEC was founded or established in 1960, which has a goal to prevent its concessionaries, the world's largest oil refiners and marketers, from lowering the price of the oil which they had specified rather or posted. The members of this organization sought to gain control over oil process by coordinating their production and export. Next is the NAM, or the Non-Aligned Movement, was formed during the Cold War, largely or because of the initiative of the Yugoslav president named Joseph Broz Tito. This organization of state did not seek to align themselves with either the United States or the Soviet Union. They sought to remain neutral or independent. Lastly, ASEAN was established on August 8, 1967, by the foreign ministers of the five countries Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. And it only has one purpose, so that's why it is established. And the main reason is they are motivated by the common fear of communism.
Thank you, Rose. So that would be all for today's program. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot from us. Thank you everyone for participating in our game show. And to all our viewers across the world, thank you and God bless us all. See
Thank you,
next
everyone.
time. Bye.
Bye.